It's been said that we as a species know more about space than we do about our own oceans. I would take this one step further and add that we know even less about the various unexplored cave systems that reside just beneath our feet. Within these unfamiliar ecosystems could reside dozens of undiscovered species. 1 week ago, I was a part of a private research group working aboard a deep-sea driller owned by our current employer, Astrid Enterprises. Now, normally I'd leave out my employer and the driller's location, but none of that really matters anymore. The team which was assigned to this driller had been summoned at the behest of our employer to conduct research upon newly discovered materials. The nature of this supposed material was of course kept under wraps until our team finally arrived. When we did, we were quickly led to their main lab where some samples of the material were kept. It was, well, odd to say the least. It was definitely unlike anything I'd ever seen. The material looked like solid, smooth black stone. To be honest, I was a bit taken back when I realized I'd been summoned to work on a lifeless rock, but the researcher that had greeted me assured me my time wouldn't be wasted. He went on to tell me that when the sample was recovered, it had been taken off the drill. He then added that the drill had to be replaced, as the material had been found wrapped around the drill. At this point, both my eyebrows were raised. What he said implied the material was alive as it reacted to the drill, perhaps feeling it threatened and attacking it. We began our work that same day. It was a few days in and we'd already made great strides. We had recorded reactions to extreme heat, cold, and extreme impact tests. It was unbelievable, really. This thing was capable of surviving being dismembered. It could still act as a complete whole whilst separated. Despite it being, well, alive, we elected to call it Element-617. It was on the 4th day, however, something happened. One of my colleagues, Lena, had gotten a paper cut. Nothing serious, right? It's just a paper cut. She bandaged it and it was fine. When she was doing some tests on a sample, it seemed to react to her. This was unusual as it never seemed to register any one person before then, but this time it was fully aware. It followed the hand where she had the cut, and in an instant it reared up and stabbed her. She screamed and reeled back, clutching her hand tightly. I and another person, a colleague, ran over to help her. I removed her glove and saw that it opened up the cut wider and left a small piece of itself embedded in her finger. I examined it for a second before taking a pair of tweezers and removing the shard. I placed the shard in a petri dish separate from the other samples. I then sent my wounded colleague to the medical bay and afterwards made sure everything had been recorded. It was later that night. I was just about to bed down after an eventful day at the lab when I heard a commotion down the hall from my quarters. It was Lena's room. I hurried over and opening the door I saw her sitting against her bunk. She was clutching her hand and her face was twisted into a painful grimace. I was about to rush over when she quickly stood up. Now I could see that there were bits of Element-617 growing from the right side of her face. I tried to help her, but she ignored my pleas as she approached me. The noise attracted one of the guards, and simply put, his endeavors to stop her were in vain. I never stuck around to see what happened to him. I only heard his screams. I ran from the personnel quarters towards the main meeting deck. By this point, the alarms were blaring and security had been deployed in an attempt to secure the situation. 2 guards ran past me, going back towards personnel quarters. I wouldn't know what became of them until I reached the control room. Once I got there, I slammed the door shut and locked it. I ran over to the cams, and then I saw it. that thing on screen wasn't Lena anymore. It appeared as some sort of abomination of body and whatever Element-617 was. It had taken the bodies of the 3 security guards and added them to its own. It lumbered throughout the driller, and I watched as it killed and added more and more to itself. I am currently locked in the control room with no more than a prayer, but I don't think God is listening anymore. I am hungry, but I have no food, and I have no water. I think I am going to have to go outside. Hey, everybody. And that's what I get for like not drinking too much water during this whole recording. But anyways, hey, it's me. I'm back. I got a little stuck up there for a second. Caught up. And so we're a little bit late on this one, but here it is. And yeah, we'll be back on schedule. Just got a little caught up with life. But I appreciate y'all being here, and if you enjoyed it, thank you. I appreciate having you, or you having finished all the way to the end and being as awesome as you are. This was another Factual Stories by your good friend the Musical Pumpkin, and if your employer is some like really shady corporation that like wants you to go do research on something classified in a deep sea driller, do it. It might be fun. Who knows? I don't know. Don't take advice from me. Love you all. Bye-bye.